Hey guys, I don't know how many people are in here. It doesn't tell me. Let's see. Someone said use Randonautica, like the app. I've tried. Can you guys? Okay. Also, let me know if you can hear me because I'm wearing headphones and I have no clue, like, if they're working or, like, here. Let's test. I was trying to test some of it earlier, but it wasn't really letting me like do it, which is dumb. So let me know if you guys can hear me. Because I have headphones. These are my daughter's headphones. So I just like took them from her to do this. So I have no clue. I forgot to check. I put up a question earlier in the community tab to see how you guys wanted the rewatch to be. I don't remember looking at it though. Because I think you guys said that you wanted me on the screen. Okay. So basically, I'm super excited for October. I think I sound so funny because of this. But I'm just going to be talking about a few things regarding October and some of the episodes. We should probably go back and watch some of the older episodes. What do you think? I don't know. Let's see. I don't remember. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't remember how to do this. And then I'm going to... Oh, listen, this is what happens. I just got back from getting the kids, so share screen. YouTube. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go to playlists, and then we're just gonna pick one, I guess. Hold on. Sorry. I guess I really wasn't prepped for this one. I was like, oh, maybe we should do one, and then we kind of just did. Let's watch the very first one that I've ever done, and it's the We Go to Hillview Manor one. It's so funny just because it's so like...
Did you delete all my files?
I did it so long ago.
Stupid. Excuse me.
Hold on.
Oh my god, I got a response.
Fix this.
Sure I just caught something coming out of that room.
And then we'll make this bigger.
Jesus. If you're good at it, maybe I'll give you a...
Oh, hey everybody. Which episode is my favorite? I don't know. That's not too loud for everybody, is it? It's like really loud for me. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's a Thursday. Which episode is my favorite? I think my favorite episode is probably the Monroe House episode, if I had to guess. I think, if I had to pick one.
We are here at the beautiful Hillview Manor. Hillview Manor was built in 1925.
Let me tell you guys. Okay.
And it was originally formed to consolidate all the surrounding poor farms in the area.
This is such an old video.
Has been home to many of the county's mentally ill, severely poor, and elderly residents that didn't have any known family.
So I made this video a long time ago.
There were many things.
You missed the video. No, it just started. It just started. You didn't miss anything. I promise.
In the mental field. So a lot of the people that needed help didn't end up getting help. In the 1960s,
like I said, I made this particular video a long time ago. This was my first investigation video that I kind of did. I didn't really do a whole thing at Hillview, but I had been to Hillview so many times that I just decided to throw something together. And I asked Hillview permission. They usually charge extra.
Mass grave.
So I was surprised that they didn't want to charge me extra for this one.
We started our investigation on the
I did. I felt really weird because I feel like a lot of my inspiration was ghost adventures.
Jimmy and Lester used to be
just because they were so successful, and I think this one was set up more like ghost adventures, and I didn't like that because I wanted to. I didn't want to copy something that somebody had already done, and I wanted to do something really different.
Another notable room is one where a man said to have fallen out the window.
I think that's why this one's set
Now,
up
it
so
is said that
differently
he
than all the
lived
other
from
ones.
the fall, but he stayed there for so long because nobody knew that he was there that he actually ended up dying from his injuries. Many different paranormal groups say that they have made contact, and he has stated that he has been pushed and he did not fall from the window intentionally. There is also a room at the end of the hallway on this floor.
I really
where
do
many
love
people say
Hillview
that
Manor.
somebody
I
snuck
really
in and
do.
used a
I
Ouija
promise I
board
do.
and
I definitely want to go back and
summoned
give them like
something.
an actual
I don't know how
episode.
much I
This one
believe in
really
that
wasn't.
personally,
This
but
one was
I
more
have
like
seen a
me
lot
kind
of
of like
shadows in this
narrating
room
or like
through
me
the many times that
telling
I
the
have been
story
here.
of
And almost
Hillview.
every single
I did
time I see something cross in
talk with
front
a
of
lot
the
of the
window.
tour guides and stuff to make sure that I was getting accurate
Let's
information.
go over some
But
of the
my
evidence that we
biggest
found on the
problem
third floor.
is
Look
that
closely to the
the
bottom
reason why I
right-hand
let the
side.
tour guides tell the story is because I don't want to get anything mixed up. I don't want to tell false information, you know. So a lot of the times that's why I show the actual tour going on, because if the tour guide says something, then that's not me. I'm not saying it. If the tour guide says something, then and it's inaccurate, then you need to take it up with the tour guide, not me. So usually the buildings are actually really good about educating their tour guides on what happens or like things like that.
It was
So
at this point in our investigation that we
that's why I
realized
let the tour guides
everything on my
say
audio
stuff.
recorder had been deleted. So we decided to go to the chapel to confront the entity.
Oh, I was very upset about this.
How do you feel about churches?
So we are just watching a really old episode. We're just watching the Hillview episode. The Hillview episode is the first episode that I ever kind of like did. So it's really bad, but you can tell that I don't have a lot of editing experience.
Good night. I go to bed. We just get started. I'm stuck.
And there's Miss Sabrina. Please let me know if you guys can hear everything okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I always let the tour guide tell details because that's not my thing. Like, I feel like
Why?
Like, especially with the whole Bobby Mackey's thing where the stuff that was said on particular shows was wrong. I felt like the show was kind of making it up, especially because it wasn't coming straight from the tour guide. It was coming from a person on the show. So it felt like the show was dramatizing the story of these buildings, and that's why I really, really didn't want to be telling the story just in case if there was something wrong, is because I don't want my videos to feel dramatized in any way, because they're not. And a lot of these places have history that is really, really good. It doesn't need to be dramatized. So that's the main reason why I let the tour guide do it.
This is a community space, right?
So this is in the little like church area, the chapel area in Hillview, which was always really active. I've been to Hillview probably about 10 times, and I almost always get stuff in this little chapel area, which is really cool.
Did you erase all my files?
Yeah, and I think it's super funny because I went on this big like rant about something erasing my files, but come to find out the EVP recorder that I had was new and I didn't know how to use it, and I accidentally put it in a different folder than it normally went into. So it wasn't even them. So for them to call me stupid is so funny. I don't even think I threw that like I'm the one that goofed up in that episode. I don't think I did. This episode actually took me like 3 weeks to edit, and it's only 13 minutes long. It's just because I was so new at editing, I didn't know how to do it.
Right here.
Yeah, it was so crazy. It actually did sound like FU in the moment,
You just did.
which is why we were reacting to it. But then, like,
Wow, fuck you too.
it just when I went over it again, it just didn't sound like that. So how did I get into the paranormal? Are you asking specifically how did I get into paranormal investigating, or are you asking specifically how do you do a paranormal investigation? Like, how do you sign up for one? Because those are two different answers. I guess if you're asking how I got into investigating, when I was 15, I actually had a paranormal attachment that was really, really rough on me.
Stupid.
I do open up and I
Excuse
talk
me?
about it a lot on my channel. I do
realize
have like
who you're
a
talking to, right?
story time kind of thing where I talk about it. I wouldn't suggest
Semi-rude.
playing it here where like I'm talking over
What
myself.
if I told you that you were stupid?
But I do have one
Stupid because you deleted all my files.
up there and it talks about everything that has happened. Can you hear me okay with the video in the background? Let me know if
From
you
there
can't.
we went to the basement, which is
But
said to contain a spirit named
basically
Dorothy,
I dealt with that for like a year, and that's what really got me into investigating. I wasn't really I was a believer in the paranormal, but it just
such a pleasant being to be around.
I just had never experienced anything up until I was 15, and then I experienced a whole lot, which was a lot to take in. But
Then we went to the North Hallway.
I learned from it, and I went a really long time without telling people about what had happened because it was just so like
shadow figures darting across the hallway.
it was just so embarrassing for me because like how do you get tormented by something that's not even there? Like how crazy do you have to be? So I didn't talk about it for a while, especially because when I was in high school, I was practicing Wicca at the time, and I got picked on a lot. Everybody was like, "Oh, don't talk to Amber because she's gonna put a spell on you," or like it was just dumb shit like that all the time, like in high school. So I definitely didn't need the attachment thing, like that didn't need to be broadcasted, and I went a long time without talking about it. So, and then when I finally did talk about it, I realized that I could actually help people, and that's kind of what started the whole YouTube thing. Is because I went from home to home. I was learning mediumship at the time. This was in my early 20s. I was learning mediumship, and we would go and feel stuff out and help people with their attachments, which was awesome. And when that kind of dispersed and we no longer did that, it was just a small group of us. We actually I went and I started doing things privately, like by myself with my friends. And that's when I kind of started opening up to public places like this. And I was like, hey, if I get online, maybe I can help more people. And that's what I ended up doing. Oh, thank you so much. I was playing with the filters on the internet, and they had one that like made my nose look better, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need a nose job now. Oh, you're welcome. If you are interested in learning about my attachment as a whole, because there's a lot of different stories that come out of that, there is a like story time my attachment video that you can watch on the channel. I think that's what it's called. It's like my paranormal attachment or something like that. I don't remember. So this is at Hillview Manor in 1 North, which is the nurse hallway. I actually did a hosting event. This is the only event that I've ever hosted, and I hosted at Hillview Manor. They were very gracious enough to let me host, and people paid, I forget, I think we charged them $40 to come and investigate with me, and I was able to introduce myself to some amazing people, and they investigated with me, and I think we had a total of 15 people come out, and I felt so proud. I actually donated all the money to Hillview to fix the roof that they have above this hallway because the roof was actually not doing really well and it was leaking really badly, especially on this other side. That's why there's buckets over there. But I think they have since fixed it. One of my friends, Sage, is also somebody who does the same kind of thing that I do. I actually met him at that particular event. He actually hosted one night and he had a really, really big turnout and he donated all the money. And I do believe that they fixed not only the 1 North roof, but they also fixed Eli's hallway, which is awesome because Eli's hallway hasn't been open for a really, really long time. So that was really cool.
We did a lot of sitting and listening. We did that for probably about 30 minutes at a time. And while we did hear a lot of noise, we can't fully say that it's definitely paranormal as it could be the building settling.
Oh, another problem that I had with Hillview, and this wasn't really a big problem, but a lot of the paint was chipping in like big clumps, and the roof was like coming in on certain areas. So anytime you would hear something like smack the floor, I wouldn't be sure if it was like paranormal or if it was just stuff like falling off the wall. And that's because whoever owned it previously, so the owner now is great. She's a great person and she does a lot to fix up the building. But whoever owned it previously actually didn't put any money into it, which kind of sucks. So it needed a lot
I
of
do
work.
have to learn how to edit a little bit better, but
Okay, that one's done. That wasn't a very long one. I told you it was like
I'm also on Instagram and I post all of
13 minutes,
well. This video will not be on Instagram,
which is awesome. But that was just like my up and coming thing. And, you know, that was just a cool thing for me to do. We're actually going to watch the Twin City Opera House one. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Twin City Opera House is in McConnellsville, Ohio, which is really cool.
Blue figure in there every once in a while.
And
that's what they said actually picked Eric up
sorry.
the drop team. We've had a medium say.
So this is actually the tour guide named Sam. Sam is really cool. Sam is also part of a paranormal group. But actually the owner of Twin City Opera House has actually passed away since we've been there. Initially, I was not planning on meeting him on the night of going here, but he was actually really, really graceful, and he came and talked to us after our investigation was over, which was super cool. So I met him. He's a super nice guy. So sad that he passed away, but yeah, but the building is really cool. I think they're still conducting tours and stuff like that. So they are an operating theater movie thing. They play movies. Which is really cool. This building was featured on Portals to Hell. If you guys watched that, that was Katrina Weidman and Jack Osborne. I love Katrina Weidman. I don't know if you guys know that. I get confused with her a lot. I don't know why. I think we have kind of like the same face going on, I guess. What do you guys think? I know there's only a few of you here, but what do you think? If you guys know who Katrina Weidman is. But yeah, I think she's so cool. I love the fact that she is not scared of anything. Like, to me, that's inspiration. I don't want to be scared of anything. And you can definitely tell that when she walks into a room, she owns the room and she owns all the spirits in the room. And big shout out to her because I love her so much. But she is also, she's getting her own YouTube channel. What is it called? Like Travel with the Dead or something like that? Or like Travel.
She was a performer here on the stage.
I don't remember. But if you go to her Instagram page, she has a link for her YouTube channel. I think it's awesome that she's coming over to YouTube. I can't tell if it's just because like
the stage hand and all that stuff.
I don't know how that's going to work because I feel like maybe she's coming over to YouTube because TV shows are a little bit exaggerated and maybe she's like not cool with it, or maybe she's coming over because she's like tired of TV shows. I don't know, but I think it's really cool that she's making that transition from TV to YouTube.
The one EVP was talking about says, I'm sorry. Yeah. They were talking to.
Yeah, I get confused with her all the time. Like, people are like, oh my God, I love your TV show. And I'm like, I don't have a TV show. And they're like, no, I saw you on TV. And I'm like, no, you did not see me on TV. It doesn't help that we're in the same genre.
We've actually had flashlights sat down here on the floor.
And I have to explain to people that I'm not Katrina Weidman.
Oh, God.
And they're like, oh, okay. I'm sorry.
This area right in here. If you have a K2 meter in your EMF detector, you'll see that it will just go crazy in this area.
Okay.
There are no wires on the other side. Now,
this was shot on an old camera of mine, so it was shot on an IR camera, but it has a setting where you can just have a regular, like, everyday camera, which is cool.
So when you're talking to Red Wine Robert, everybody
Intrinsic Paranormal, hi.
Bottle of my wine that I made right there for him.
Oh, cool.
So, but anyway, we talked with Robert. He answers a lot, like I said, with the ghost meters and the K2s. You can ask him questions, yes or no, and yes or no, he answers right away with.
Oh my gosh. So after we did this investigation, Sabrina was really curious about this guy who's giving us a tour. His name's Sam. So he said that he had his own YouTube channel and all this stuff. Now, I don't remember what it was called, but she said that she went and researched it, and she said it was just... She said it was just basically like they had a video where he was like flirting on investigation. She said it was totally crazy. I couldn't imagine that. And I was like, I guess there's a big difference from guy investigators to girl investigators. Like,
huge fire in the early 1900s.
You two have to do an investigation together. What, me and Katrina Weidman? Yeah. I would love that. Like I said, she's a very big inspiration for me as far as just not being scared of anything and just being very self-aware about everything around her, and the way that she conducts her investigations is just so cool. You can tell that she's just not scared of anything. Are you sure you look alike? LOL. I don't. Okay, like our bodies probably don't look alike. I feel like our face looks a little bit alike. Like I said, I do get confused with her a lot. Like a lot of people do call me Katrina Weidman on Instagram. I don't know. It's just something that happens, I guess. But yeah.
So I guess the tunnels had fallen in over the years, and they had, I don't know if they backfilled them or what.
Oh, I was so sad. They had the tunnels like concreted over, so you couldn't go in the tunnels, and I was like, oh no, you could not go in the tunnels.
So this is like
hey, H-Town, okay,
Over here. This is interesting.
Oh my gosh. This is in Ohio. This is your state.
Okay.
This is in McConnellsville. This is Twin City Opera House.
A friend of mine. My friend is very, very sensitive. He came down with us, and he's drawn to objects.
Okay.
Okay. So he was drawn to that when we came back.
A lot of the stories that Sam was telling us was really cool. He kept telling us a lot of stories afterwards as well. You know, like I speak with a lot of the tour guides. Even after the investigation, sometimes I keep contact with them. And he was just so cool. I don't think I kept contact with him, unfortunately. Some tour guides, I had their phone numbers, and then some of them I just talked to them on Facebook. And I don't think I have either for Sam.
And when Elizabeth died, the daughter never recuperated.
So everything that he's talking about is basically just things that they have found through their investigations. So
and so now
I was talking to Sabrina, and she was telling me that she had talked to him, and basically there was no like solid proof of some of this stuff that he's saying at this current moment. But she said it was through like a psychic medium who was telling them about this. Now, she said that he used a pendulum to get the answers. I'm a little skeptical about pendulums. I do have one. I was given one when I was doing the mediumship. I honestly don't know where it's at right now. But would you guys like to see me use it at some point? Is that something that you're interested in? I do really believe in the whole like ideomotor effect, how like, you know, if you slightly move, it like moves. But if you want to see me use one, I could use one because I have one. I just don't know where it was at. But like I said, it was a gift back when I was learning mediumship. So yes, you would like to see one. My hair is so dark in this video. I used to dye my hair black. Okay, so when I was in high school, I used to dye my hair red, and it was really pretty. And then I decided that I was so tired of being red because I got made fun of a lot. And a lot of the people that I worked with would call me the Wendy's girl, like from like Wendy's, you know, like Wendy's, fresh, never frozen kind of thing. And they would always make fun of me for being a redhead, basically. So I started dyeing my hair black, and that was at this current moment. But I do like the color. Maybe the face, yeah. Yeah, I agree, the face, but not so much the body.
One of those times when like it's not loud, or that's the quietest your spirit box has ever been.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with my spirit box. It was just not working the way that I wanted it to. Also, Sabrina is also in this episode too. Sabrina was in a lot of my episodes. We did everything together. We would always go to these places together. We would research together. We used to work together. I miss Sabrina a lot. I really hope that she is going to be on some episodes. Hint, hint. I think she will be on this month. So I do have some surprises this month. I am trying to work on a surprise investigation, 2 surprise investigations. But I'm just not sure if they're gonna happen. So I'm hoping, I have my fingers crossed, hoping for the best. This spirit box is so annoying. I'm glad that we've transitioned over to the portal, but I feel like I'm not using the portal correctly, which is kind of sad. I think the reason why my portal isn't as loud as it should be is because my cord is like faulty, I think. Because sometimes it works correctly and then sometimes it doesn't work correctly. And if you move the cord just right, it like stops working. So I think it's the cord, so I need to replace the cord. Hey Paranormal Popcorn, what's up? Nothing much. We are just watching some vids. What are you doing? We're talking about the past. This is one of the first episodes where I kind of branched off and kind of tried to do my own thing, like create my own style as far as how I wanted to present the episodes to you guys.
So tell me your name.
I remember I would always be really upset because, like, if I didn't get the camera angle right, or like, you know, I was too shaky on the camera, I'd always like beat myself up about it. And I just want to remind you guys, like, if you have your own channel and you're struggling with that, that is okay. All creators go through that. It's fine. Don't beat yourself up so bad. Yeah, you might want to change and transition into something. What I typically use is a rig. I'll set the rig somewhere, or I'll put my phone on a tripod, so that way it can't really move. And that's the benefit of doing it by yourself, is that I now rely on my tripod instead of somebody else holding it, and then me being mad at somebody else. So if you are struggling with the shaking camera thing and you can't stabilize it as much as you'd like to, I recommend a tripod. I feel like I had some really, really great investigations when I first started. It's just my editing skills weren't up to par, so a lot of them got looked over, or maybe like, you know, maybe you weren't so interested in the tour, but I didn't include the timestamp. You know, you learn as you go, especially like with YouTube, with what works with your channel, with your target audience, which is awesome. So it's definitely been a journey. I'd say this video was done at least a year and a half ago, I would say. So I think it's so cool to see how far somebody comes in the transitions that come along with them, and how you changed overall and what makes you different from what was back then. I just think that that's so cool. Oh, we bust out the little EMF reader. That is not my EMF reader, by the way. That is Sabrina's EMF reader. I do not have one. I have a millimeter, and actually the millimeter that I have was given to me as a gift, so I did not purchase it.
Can you make it line it up red? Or can you say that you want to play with the spirit box?
So I thought it was really cool because this is on like the little catwalk thing that they have above the stage, so you can kind of like walk up and go. That was where all the operators, like how they drop stuff on the stage, or like how they did the spotlights and stuff like that. If you've ever been to like a theater, but they had this little area up top, and I thought it was super cool because the guy was saying that you can hear footsteps walk across the catwalk while you're up there, and it did happen, and I do think I did put it in this episode, which is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Okay, so this is what that. I know for a fact
I was so
said
upset over this.
So basically, to give you a slight update, no,
It says no file.
she definitely hit record.
I did. I promise I did.
Now there's no file on the camera, which means it's been down here recording literally nothing.
Yeah,
We've
so
been gone for a solid half hour.
I just put it down
minutes.
there just as a static
just-
camera,
it's been
and I
an hour,
came
my
back to
friend.
check it. So I'll use a static camera for
It's been an
anywhere
hour,
from a
and
half
things
hour
are
to an
lost.
hour and a half. in the same spot, and then what I'll do is I'll rotate it out and put it in
I
different
checked everything
positions.
before I left
And
because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't putting a corrupt SD card. Is your mic on?
Yes. Okay.
I
but
wanted to make sure I wasn't
basically,
putting any
yeah,
corrupt
I had
SD
come back
card or
down,
anything in
and
it, so
the video just wasn't
I've
there, and I
got
was
nothing.
so disappointed because
and a dead
that's
battery.
where the main entity.
It feels really different down here.
Oh, I don't even remember the name.
That does not make me happy.
But yeah, I was so upset because I'm pretty sure that when they did
No.
the episode for Twin City Opera House, they said that that entity was really mean, and I don't think he was mean. I think it was just more
Set up your
he
cam
was
and get back.
territorial, or at least that's kind of what it felt like to me. Hey,
Look,
Paranormal
see,
Side,
this is
what's
exactly.
up?
I checked it before we even started.
Are you just freaking out
Oh my god.
over?
I swear to God, I hope that we got a shot.
I am so cold right now.
I was so
Are you?
disappointed because
Yeah, it, like,
I
grabbed
know
me.
I knew that there were a certain
Like, it
amount of
literally, like,
camera
grabbed the back
static
of my
cams
head.
that I
For
needed
real?
to get,
Yeah, like,
and I had wasted some of my time not getting it because it didn't work.
Wow.
And that was the one shot that I really wanted.
Did back just move?
Something on your chair did.
I don't know, girlfriend. I got.
Alright, so I'm taking this one.
Yeah.
That will be pointed over here.
There was a camera on the ground, so I was just putting my hand in front of it just to be a smartass.
Do you want to come talk to us, Charlie?
Oh, Charlie was the entity. Yeah, I really felt like he was an old man, and he didn't like people in his face. That's kind of how it felt like to me. It wasn't like threatening, like I'm gonna like
that
kill you or something like that.
Messed up my camera.
Didn't leave with any scratches. Actually,
Which,
if you
quite
believe it or
frankly,
not, I've
doesn't
never been scratched,
make me
ever.
very happy.
And I really want to be scratched. I can't express how badly I want to be scratched.
How?
I've never been scratched. We did Bobby Mackey's, didn't get scratched. My sister even
What are the
told
odds
Bobby Mackey's
That as soon as I
spirits
said
to eat
that,
a
the
dick,
church bell rang.
and we didn't get scratched. I was hoping for a scratch.
Spirit box. How long?
This part is a little weird too. It was like my spirit box kept like turning off and just, but not actually fully turning off. It would just stop working. Oh, Intrinsic Paranormal, you have a bad scar from being scratched. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Okay, so like I want to be scratched just so that way I can experience it because everybody always talks about being scratched, but I've just never been scratched. And I don't know why, like whenever me and Sabrina would go do the bigger locations, for some reason they would always touch her, but they would never touch me. And I wonder if it was because I was the one that was on camera and she was the one who was
because when
behind
it turns
camera.
off, it says
But
powering off.
yeah, she would always get touched or she
No,
would always
it's
get
still
scratched,
on.
and it never happened for
Your
me.
speaker just turned off without saying anything.
But
Yes.
I'm hoping at some point I will get scratched minorly,
Oh, no.
hopefully not as bad as yours. I'm sorry to hear that. What is the
Girl,
location
no.
for your video?
Girl.
That is the Twin City Opera House. It's in
Now it's back
McConnellsville, Ohio. Don't you guys film in Ohio, right?
Turn that off.
I think, right? I don't know. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But yeah, like I said, the owner has since passed away, but I think they are still doing investigations there.
I wanted to talk to you.
We were just sitting there eating, and then it bled for hours. That's terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that you told them off, and you told them that they were not welcome to bother you anymore. That's terrible when people do. I know a few people who have had to deal with stuff like that, like in their home and them like being constantly scratched and like bruised. I know Sabrina's been bruised once. She has a demonic doll that she talks about on her channel. I don't know if she's put up any new videos or not, but she does have her own channel. I do believe it's called Brina Paranormal. But she's been bruised from that. Why is there no sound?
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay. So that was probably a goof on my behalf. Like I said, this is like the second video that I ever like edited together. So not that great, but honestly, like I feel like the investigation, like the substance was there, but I just didn't put it in the way that it should have been presented, or at least like when I look at it, I kind of like cringe.
interesting.
Oh,
It
okay,
is.
that makes sense. So you're from North Carolina, but you investigate in Ohio sometimes. That's why I thought,
Do
okay.
you like us being down here?
My eye feels funny.
Did that stop recording?
Yeah, I miss investigating with Sabrina because I feel like Sabrina and I matched a lot of our
I literally just got so
like our theories about spirits in general and things like that. Intrinsic Paranormal, she is a very, very small channel.
I don't know.
The last time I checked, she had very, very few subscribers because she only had like one video. So you probably won't be able to find it. The only way that you can find it is probably through Instagram because she has an Instagram page called Brina Paranormal and she might have a link there. I'm sorry. Here, let me see if I can help you. Oh, I know what. Okay. So another thing that happened to me. Oh my God, my kids won't stop yelling. Another thing that happened to me was I was trying to lay music in some of my videos. Just because I thought that it would help me.
Yeah, it's not blinking. What the?
Because I thought it would like look or sound better or whatever. So I was trying to lay music in some of these videos, and I think what happened was I accidentally I found a music
What's your name?
thing
Oh my God.
on a website, and
not
they
turning
told
on.
me
It's
that
No,
it was
it's not
copyright
dead. It
free.
was a half battery, I'm
But-
pretty sure.
But now she's dead.
I just noticed a couple months ago that I got hit with a copyright,
got it.
or they were trying to hit me with a copyright because I had
Dead.
used their music, and they were asking that I take it off, which I did. And in some places I put YouTube music in, and then in some places I set up. It was really annoying because
Is
I
it
had used that
Charlie?
music for so long, and I didn't even know that they had a copyright on it. Like, it didn't show, and it showed that they were making money off of my video or videos, even though, oh, did she take down? Okay. So Sabrina has took down her video, and I don't really know why, but here is a link to her channel. But yeah, I was just so, because I had done so much research to try to find music that I could lay over some of my videos, and it said that it was copyright free, and I had used it for a really long time, and it never came up. And then like a couple months ago, it was like, oh, here's this, and the funny thing is YouTube didn't even notify me. They didn't even say, hey, by the way, like, you have music that's supposedly copyrighted. It was just underneath, like, if you hit content and then you see your content, and on the bar it says like no copyright or whatever, it said that it was a copyright somewhere from like Nigeria or something like that. And I was like, are you kidding me? So they were making money off of my videos, even though I don't even make money off of my own videos. So I was really upset about that, because YouTube could have notified me about it, and I would have fixed it right away. But they didn't notify me. It's like they wanted him to make money off of my videos because, I don't know, maybe they get a kickback or something. It was really irritating.
It's not even 2 anymore. It's just 1.
Oh,
It was 2 earlier.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that happened with me too, with music. Now I pay for music. Yeah. I have a couple websites that I trust. BenSound is really good. A lot of people use BenSound, so that's kind of why I was like gravitating towards BenSound. And then I do know people who do make like beats and stuff. I'd be open to working with them, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I really should, so I just use BenSound. I look so different. Rip to my black hair. It looks so pretty though. It did go off in weird spots, but I know that he said that there wasn't a wire back there or anything, but I mean, I'd be none the wiser if there was, because I couldn't rip the wall open, obviously. So I couldn't like see on the other side, but I did see it go off a couple times, like this little EMF thing, but I would like to see EMF combined with some other things, just to strengthen the credibility, or at least that's what it's like for me. Get out. I get that so often, get out. But I'm such a nice person, I don't know why I get it so often. Yeah, that was really weird. Like a male moan. They do that a lot. They did that at Moundsville quite a bit, actually. It's really annoying. Moundsville is definitely crazy. If you guys haven't been to Moundsville, I would highly suggest going to Moundsville. Even on a public, it's pretty active, and it's also so big that you can generally stay away from people, especially if you go in the colder months. Maybe not if you go. I don't know, because I went on a day that it was 100 degrees outside, and there wasn't that many people there, so I was pretty happy about that.
That one was a bigger one. That was loud.
Oh, yeah, how you could hear the footsteps coming across. That was really cool because not only could I hear them, like, coming towards us, but I also caught them on, like, my little dinky camera. So I was really happy with that.
That was loud. That was close.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So exciting. What else? So there's Madison Seminary, but I'm sure I've made you guys watch Madison Seminary before. Oh, so if you guys haven't seen this one, this is Tragedy in the Cleveland Death Car. The Cleveland Death Car is actually a train car located in Cleveland. And
two engines collided. There were steam engines. They collided.
Yeah.
And the engine that was pulling this train went down into a ravine. Both the engineer and the fireman got killed.
Basically, everybody in this specific train car passed away.
Was coming in, and,
and
it killed all the people. There were 28 people that were in this car that died.
Yeah. So they had their windows open because it was a summer day, and the way that the trains collided, they actually, the train car got pinned up next to the steam engine, and all the steam came in and like boiled everybody. It was super sad. But so
just like jump up.
This specific place is, I forget what it's called exactly, but it's a Railroad Preservation Society of Cleveland. And basically what they do is they work on old train cars. And they actually took us on a tour prior to doing the investigation, which was really cool. And they showed us a first-class train car, which was really, really nice. And it was really old. They said it was about 100 years old, and I was so surprised at what luxury they had 100 years ago, because it was still nice even up to today's standards. And it was so awesome being able to tour them. But it was so cool because each of the train cars like had its own little name, which I thought was neat. But I don't remember any of them.
All right. The Van Swaren brothers, who built the Terminal Tower, bought the Nickel Plate Railroad, and they made it into what it is. And the reason why they call it the nickel plate is because the track was so shiny. It was shiny as a brand new nickel. That meant it was very prosperous.
So this guy was extremely shy being interviewed, but honestly, he loves trains. And you can tell that comes through in the video. It's so awesome.
1942,
you are so welcome, Brian Mills. I love what I do. I'll keep doing it for a long time. Don't worry.
Out of Buffalo towards Cleveland on the Wayland track. Kind of like a side route, not the main line, but it gets around. But it was going pretty good speed. The engineer was about 20 minutes late, and back in the day they had what they call the tickets. You know, at every station they had to grab the little
Yeah,
string
like-
on through the Y
The
bar.
audio was a little
That
messed
gives
up
them
in this
the,
video, and
their
that kind of
orders
makes me a
and
little
saying,
bit
"Oh,
sad.
I'm 20
But
minutes late."
honestly,
Well, the
it was
engineer
such a
said,
pleasure
"Oh, I've
doing
never
this
been late in my life,"
investigation.
blah, 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 you
Granted,
know.
we didn't get much
So he
out of it,
traveled
but
up
the
because of
story is
section of
just
straight
so
track that ran
unique.
pretty straight and level.
It's almost
Okay.
like
So that means they
you
can make
have
up
to go and
speed.
do it just because of the
And they
story.
didn't have signaling lights, so there wasn't like any way of knowing that something was going on at the front. Meanwhile, like about 25, 30 miles down the track, there was an engineer group that are switching, and they were getting off the track, and they said, "Oh, in 20 minutes the train's coming," you know.
Yeah.
So they're backing out of the way. And what happened is the train came around the corner, seen the other engine. The other engine was out on the track. The two engines collided. They were steam engines. They collided. And the engine that was pulling this train went down into a ravine. Both the engineer and the fireman got killed. There were 3 other cars that were in front of this car, and they derailed, but they were stood upright. This one stayed on the track, and it ended up right next to the steam engine. And the steam engine had a hole in the side because one of the pipes broke off.
Okay.
And it was blowing the pressure of the hot steam into this car. And it was summertime, so the windows were open, and the steam was coming in, and, and it killed all the people. There were 28 people that were in this car that died.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
This
26
investigation was
instantly
really
the
hard
next
to
day.
do because there were actually 4
So the car always
major
has all kinds
power
of weird
plants
stuff going
that are
on.
located
One
around
of the
this
main things that I've seen
railroad
and
thing that they
over
have
here-
going
over
on.
the years heard of.
But so
And
there was a lot of
occasionally you still
noises.
hear it.
I didn't
When you're
really
sitting
expect
in
that.
the
I knew
car
it
and
was
it's
in
all nice
Cleveland,
and
but I
quiet and
didn't think
dark,
it was going to be that
and
loud.
You sit and look at the woman's bathroom, which is over there.
Okay.
You can hear an apparition come out and scream, "Get out."
Oh my god.
I was
So that always
really,
happens
really
because
hoping to
she was
hear
the
that.
one
We
who
did not hear
Seeing
it, though.
everybody, seeing what was going on, and telling
Yeah.
everybody to get out of the train. You
Okay,
know,
it's basically like a warning that something's going on.
right. And then the other thing that we got with the little kid that was crying, and they were using a machine, and it was broken glass and stuff like that. And so one of the things, one time we had a group in here that was good understanding paranormals and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Actually, we were able to communicate. So the big question we always ask is why all the visitors or people get scared when they're in the car.
Mhm.
A lot of things happen when visitors are in here. Like if they have their hands out the windows.
So,
slam down
not
on them.
only do they preserve these train
things like
cars,
that.
what they actually do is they
One time we
actually
had a person
do,
that,
they travel with these train cars. So,
we told the story
they
about the
actually take
accident,
this
and they
specific
started
train
laughing,
car
and the
around the
windows
United
came
States,
right down.
and
Next thing
they
you know, doing
do,
a train ride.
yeah,
They're
they do
actually
train
doing
rides.
a ride, and the windows slammed down on them.
So they do train
So
rides
it
and they
scared
let
the heck
people
out of
ride on them.
everybody.
And I do
So,
believe he goes on to
I
say
was
that
asking,
there
I
was
said, well,
somebody
how
who
come,
actually
you
had
guys
had
don't
a
bother
relative that passed away
us?
in the
You know,
train
I mean,
car during that
you know,
incident,
we're here
and they were
all the
able to
time,
come and
and,
ride the
all
actual
kinds of
train
stuff
car, which
goes
was really
on.
nice.
But they never really, when I'm in this car or anything, they never bother me. And the one word that came back was restored.
Oh,
We
okay, yeah.
restore it. So that was their only
Like
thing
they
that we got.
appreciate everything that you've done.
Right, to keep the car
Yeah.
going.
So that not only do they restore
I
it, but they
was
actually
working
try
on it
to
one time.
keep it
Now down at that
in the
end
same
over there.
condition as it was.
And I asked one of the guys that
back
was
in
the
the
shop,
day.
and I
So,
said, hey, hand me the extension cord in
the
here because we're gonna
drapes
do
or the
some work.
curtains
We
that
have
you
to
see
put
on the
our
windows
car
are
all
actually
apart.
the original ones. They have not replaced
And
those.
as soon as I stuck my hand
And
out the
I do
window,
believe that
to
the
go grab the extension
actual
cord,
like
all of a sudden the window
fabric
just started
on the seats are
like
also
making a
original
weird
as well.
rattle, and
Yeah.
it started coming down. I pulled my hand and just
Like,
missed
nope.
it. Yep. So that was the only time because we were actually doing work. I guess
Yeah.
they didn't like that we were disturbing the car. So, but we were actually doing work on here. So, and then after a while, it became all nice and pretty again. So everything
looks
got
really
quiet,
nice.
Yeah, this car was used for the movie The Natural. And matter of fact, if you turn around and you look at that window on your side there, you see the window
Yeah,
there.
it's so cool. I've been to so
towards
many
your,
places where like
right-hand side.
TV
That's
shows
where
have
Robert
filmed,
referenced
which
that.
is really weird.
Oh, that's
Like
cool.
I never would have thought
And he's
that
also in the
like
car
TV
about
shows
that.
use these kind of
So,
unique
that was really nice.
locations
Okay.
to film with. It
So,
just doesn't
the
cross my
car's,
mind.
been used for tourist railroads, and we leased it out to a bunch of different railroads. It goes out. It'll probably be going to Cincinnati next year, and we'll get
Oh, that's cool.
for runs and stuff like that. But with the lady, she comes out and screams every once in a while. And sometimes if you sit here, usually at a full moon, around the full moon,
Yeah.
is the more active time. When it's the new moon, we don't get anything in these cars. I mean,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
dead as dead. I mean, I don't know why, but with the full moon, there's more activity than when there's no moon.
Yeah.
So, and when it's in the roundhouse, it's even more active than it is when it's sitting outside.
But when it's out here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it
so
wasn't
that's
in the
kinda
roundhouse, it
strange.
was
So
actually just sitting
Something's going on
outside.
with being inside the roundhouse that makes all these aberrations or whatever start activating or getting going.
Yeah.
There's the banger, that goes on in the roundhouse. You'll hear him bang 3 times. One of our members died recently, and he had a real bad cough because he had lung cancer.
Oh, yeah.
And after he died, I found out, when the funeral was. So I came into work on a Sunday evening to type out the email to send it out to all the members and and the board members and all that.
Yeah.
And I could have sworn I hear him coughing down in the conference room where the class was.
Oh, yeah.
My office is upstairs, and I could hear him coughing like plain as day, like he
Yeah.
was here. I know he's already dead. So
I
stuff
thought that
like
was
that
super
goes on.
cool. There was quite a few
have
people that
ghost
we met
here
that
that likes to shift stuff around.
on the way
In other
out.
words, you can
There was
leave
this
the
lady who
flashlight here.
Yeah.
was
I can
telling
turn
us
around,
about
come back,
her
and it's not here,
experiences
and
with
then
the
you
train
won't
car, which
find
I
it
thought
for
was
3
really
days,
neat.
and then it's
Oh,
here
yeah,
again.
and then you'll find it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a real big thing around here, and I blame all the volunteers for not putting tools away.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, that's one of the things that goes on here. And I've been interviewed a couple times, and all kinds of stuff happens when people interview me. I don't know why, but it does. So there's all kinds of unique experiences. We had a lot of different groups, and everybody found something. There was nobody
Yeah.
that never walked away and said, "Oh, nothing happened." So
Yeah.
it all depends.
That's
on
awesome.
the
I
time,
love places like that are like
how
really
good you are,
active.
as far as countering
Yeah.
them up.
I don't
But
think
it's
I've
a
ever
pretty
walked away
unique
from a place and
experience.
got like
Yeah, here's
dead nothing.
the lounge area. This is what was unique about the car was the lounge.
Oh, this is the first class train car that I was talking about that he did a tour for. This is not the haunted train car at this current moment, but this is the first class train car that he gave us a tour on, which I thought was really awesome. That's why I
So
included
this
it.
is what's unique about the car is it ended right here,
Yeah.
and they had a deck out in the back, like the America does, and it would have been a railing and stuff like that. Well, in 1924, when you're traveling and the train's going about 70 miles an hour, you got a steam engine in the front, and you're standing out here in the back while the train's going, and it's kicking up all the dirt and dust and everything. And these people are first class,
Oh,
fancy
yeah.
dresses and hairdos. Walk outside, you look like you worked on the railroad, So Pullman says, "Oh man, in 1930s," he says, it's a waste of space. I can get 3 more seats in here, make it a little more loud, nicer." And he put windows in the back and a window in the door.
There was
so
all
you could
sorts of
look
stuff
out
on this train car. There was like
And it
this
became the
cool
first
like private
observation.
bathroom where they could
So
like
that's what's
shave,
unique.
and it
And
had
they
like a
had
little
subways,
razor dispenser thing in it,
lighting here.
and it
That
had
was
these
the
like
newer
call lights
trend at that time,
on
put that
the
in.
top, which I thought
And
was
when we
awesome.
power the car up to the power car, which produces electricity for us, the heat works and all the lights and fans and everything
Oh,
work.
that's so
I do it
cool.
li-
Yeah.
So how old do you think this car is?
This car is 1924.
Okay.
Yeah, it was built in 24.
So almost
Chicago.
almost 100 years old.
Almost 4 more years to be 100 years old. Yeah.
And it works
So
perfectly
Robert
fine.
Everett sat here in that chair talking to his business manager about his career,
Oh.
in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He
How
baseball,
they
that's before
filmed
he got,
in that train
shot.
car. By the way,
Yeah.
In the movie
my
theater to
hair
watch it.
in this
There's
video,
a
that
few
is my
editions
natural
of
hair.
it out
Like
there where it has
when I get my
the
hair
Siemens
wet,
is in
it's
a
like
lot, our 4070
crazy,
and our 3
like
cars that we have.
kinky
And we had a coal car and it took
ringlets, like really,
for
really
something
curly.
like 6
But
weeks for the
I
film.
straighten it
Oh, that's cool.
quite
It
often.
was over in
It's
Wayland, New York,
much more
exactly
manageable
where
when it's
the,
straight. So
52
Yeah.
that is why
accident was. They
in
said
this
it was really
episode,
hard. The car was really
my
strange
hair is
up there,
crazy.
too.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
do
said
believe
all
I
kinds
did
of
wear
weird
my
stuff
hair
was
like that
going on.
in a different episode
People
as
were
well.
saying at nighttime they didn't even want to walk through the car,
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel ice cold air flowing through it and it's 90 degrees outside, that kind of stuff. So yeah, everything's original in this car.
Yeah.
So.
It looks really nice, and it surprises me because it's almost 100 years old.
Mhm.
And when you think about it, a car that looks like this nice, you wouldn't think is like 100 years old.
Mhm.
You wouldn't have thought that 100 years ago they had all these nice fancy gadgets
Mhm.
with like the sinks and the
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
the way it
that
was.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah. So during the tour, I felt like I was gonna throw up. Like I felt like really
I got so
dizzy
like
and like nauseous, and I thought maybe because they're working on the sewage thing. Doesn't
yeah,
smell
they
that
were
good.
working on it. It
So
did not
I
smell
thought maybe
good.
it was just because of that, or like because of the way that I was standing. Like I felt like I was gonna pass out. So we sat outside, and then we came back in, and we're like setting stuff up, and I just feel so sick again. And I'm looking at the camera.
It was
for the
only whenever I would
shots that are
step on the
going
train,
down
which was super
the
weird.
hall, like the hall, and it just looks like it's moving. And I honestly don't know if I'm crazy. Like, did you see it move? Did it look like it was moving?
It didn't
to you?
move.
If anything, my eyes are just playing tricks what was moving forward. I didn't see it like rocking
It
or
looked
Like
like
Sabrina
it was
said,
rocking. Like it looked like the train was in motion, and it was like bumping along down the tracks or whatever. But like, I really feel.
I
Oh,
was
Amber,
not having
no.
a good time. I really thought I was going to throw up, and I was trying not to throw up. I did not throw up, but anytime I would step off the train, I was fine. But as soon as I would get back on the train, I would just felt like I was going to throw up. And it was like motion sickness, kind of like, but we weren't moving, which was really weird. But this is also another video that got hit with that copyright thing. So that is why you do not hear anything through the cycling of the static cam, which kind of sucks. But yeah. Yeah, we lost some footage, which was upsetting. Because, you know, especially when you're filming like this is entirely unscripted. It's not, you can't force paranormal to react. So when you lose footage, it's so depressing, especially if something major happened and you lost the footage. It's gone. You're not going to be able to replicate that in any type of way. It's not going to happen again for you. And I was really upset because we had lost footage of what I do believe, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know that something creepy happened. Like, I was on the train car, so my boyfriend will text me sometimes and just ask me, like, how's it going, or like things like that, but he doesn't do it too often if he knows that I'm filming. And he said something really creepy to me, and he never he rarely texts me, and he sent it 3 times in a row, which I don't think is something that he would do, but it was something really creepy, and it was like back to back to back. I think what happened was I was just like in a dead zone, and I didn't get reception, and when I finally got reception, it went through 3 times, but it was just so creepy. But I think we lost that. And then I do believe that when we turned it on, somebody said, like, where's your ticket? Or like, ticket please, or something like that. And I think we lost that. But I was very frustrated. There have been quite a few different times where I lost footage of something that was really cool, and I would kick myself for either not filming or not filming correctly. Like I said, if you guys are a small channel and you're still learning, don't worry. I did the same thing. There were so many times when the shot just looked like total crap, so I didn't include it, which was very depressing. But when you're doing like a documentary style type thing, it's hard to do. It's hard to learn, guys. I think I still felt sick at this point. It was on and off like the whole night. Anytime I would step on that friggin' train, I would just feel like so sick.
Oh, Jimmy's asking hi.
Friend. Brian, how do I handle the sound of a spirit box? I don't. It's so annoying. I actually got so fed up with it. I no longer... What I actually do is I have a portal device, and my portal device can actually filter out a lot of the white noise. Like I was saying earlier, I don't think I have the correct cord. I can actually turn down a lot of that sweeping noise, and it'll just leave the responses, which is really cool. So I think my portal device was $350. The spirit box is around $100, depending on what kind you get. But I had the SB7. But yeah, I just got so tired of going through the audio and like watching the videos and just hearing that. Like, it would always give me a headache, and it was so annoying for me because it's like I want to be able to put a little bit of that suspense in there for you guys, and I want you guys to see the reactions.
Is it like
But at the
bad
same
when you
time,
stand?
like, spirit box is so annoying.
Kind of. I don't know. It's just like, it comes in like waves. Like right now, I'm fine. But like 4 minutes ago, I was like,
We're not
yeah.
good.
Like I was pushing it.
Yeah, I really thought that I was going to throw up on this train, and I would have felt so
Now we're not really
bad.
getting much of anything through this.
Oh yeah, I have a pedal and an amp, and that's basically like a portal device. Yeah, yep. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. And I also have I have a reverb on mine too that I could use.
Oh man, I think I missed my spot.
Yeah, pedals, LOL. It's all the same. I knew what you were talking about. Yeah, I did actually leave the EVP recorder running while we actually went on the other side of the train yards. That way it didn't catch us talking, and we did not get anything. I was really hoping for that lady to scream, "Get out." I would have been so satisfied if I would have heard that, but we actually didn't get anything, which was very depressing. Everything that we typically got was through Spirit Box in this investigation, but I was a little leery because we were in Cleveland, so I wasn't sure if it was like interference.
Which you'll probably agree with me on. But so my primary concern,
Brian, yes,
is
it would.
There's a lot of places around here.
Mm-hmm.
So what did he say? Four steel plants.
Yeah.
Steel plants,
I don't know, they're like
power
making
plants,
energy
whatever.
or something. But there's 4 different ones. So we've got one right across the road. There's one big one all the way down there. What did he say? 36? I don't know.
He said a large number, which you will see later.
Yeah. So it's like surrounding us.
Yeah,
then
it's like
on this
so
side,
crazy.
you've got a major highway that's like an overpass of where we're at. And then on this side, there's another plant. And like we were talking earlier, the vibrations. And we just went out there. There's this big, I don't know, dump truck or whatever that they're using. So
Yeah, they were doing like some weird construction off on the side. I was actually very, very worried that everything that we had done was contaminated.
A lot of contamination.
And I was like, oh my
loud
god,
whenever
I'm
you
not
go
going to have an
outside. There's
episode
also
by
a
the
train
time I
yard
get
that's
home
currently
because it's
Yeah,
going to have
so
so
we
much
did hear a
contamination. I'm going to have to
couple
toss everything.
Whistles, things like that. That is not paranormal. We did hear that both on the tour and while we were sitting out there. So there is an active train track around here. They even said, I think they said that this one was active.
Yeah, at like 4 a.m.
But so I'm audio wise isn't really looking that great. I don't overly like that. That makes me really nervous that everything is so loud. I didn't know that it was going to be that loud. Had I known, I probably would have been a bit on the side, and I probably would have made a better plan.
Yeah, if you
also,
plan on going and
probably
doing
will
that
not
location,
test
do keep
SLS
in mind
today,
that there is going to be
and
like
there's a good
some
reason for that.
like
So,
rumbling noises and a lot
if
of
you remember
interference.
me telling you that the website had reviews on it, and the manufacturer flat out said that seats do sometimes show figures.
Oh, the damn
So,
SLS camera.
Since this is all
Yeah, I
seats,
thought about
the
it and I was
trains
like,
are
that's
full
all
of
seats.
seats.
We're
I
not
am
taking the SLS camera.
very skeptical about any figure that we catch in here because I don't want to false label something as paranormal. So I will not be testing the SLS camera on the train cart tonight. So
Okay,
you'll not
so
see
like
that.
I'm dumb, and for some reason I thought it was a
obviously we'll
train
have it in
cart
other investigations.
and not
We
a
just
train
won't have it in this one
car.
because I don't want to label something
And I
as
didn't
paranormal
realize
when
that
I
until
know
after we
it's
were done.
not.
So I
So I don't wanna
apologize. I
be
think I
putting
do
that
say
out there.
cart this whole episode.
Also,
I'm so
like we said
sorry.
earlier, I was a little worried about the whole spirit box thing. Being here directly in Cleveland, and we passed so many big buildings, and we were on such a big highway.
Near an airport.
Yeah. So I was a little worried about all the frequencies. It did look really good though when we were using it. So
It was promising earlier. It just died out.
yeah.
I think,
so I think we're
a
gonna
big
do
thing that I
again.
love about my channel
like I
is
said,
the fact that I
limited
really
on what
try
we
not to
should
cram
do
things down your throat. So
equipment-wise.
I will
I don't really
label
want to set up
something
my laser grid
and,
because there's nowhere like
I don't
flat to put
say.
it.
I notice with a lot of
And
TV
I
shows,
also
they're
would
like,
say I would be
"Oh, is
careful
this
of anything like
paranormal?
orbs
This
and
is
such going
this
in
is the ghost
Yeah.
of
It
so
is
and so or something like that."
extremely
And
It
I'm
was
not like
very,
that.
very
I will just
dusty
I will
here.
put it out
So-
there, and if
Pick
you
up
guys
dust.
interpret it
Yeah.
as paranormal,
I
Like,
then
you can't go off of
you can do
visual
so.
orbs
And if you
such at
interpret
the
it as not
moment.
being
We will
paranormal,
probably
then
take
that's
some
awesome.
pictures
I
because I
try
know that they
not
were
to
saying
put
online
too
that there
much
was
of what I
faces
think,
in the windows,
or
and
I don't know,
such
maybe
like
I
that.
do
So
put a
we
lot of
will
what I
take some
think,
pictures,
but like I
but
try
I'm
not
gonna
to
be very
force you to think a
skeptical
certain way.
and analytical about
Intrinsic paranormal, yes. My
What's
hair is naturally
on them.
curly. That's
As
what it
we
looks
always
like
are about
after I get it
everything.
wet.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
But
it's
the
super
reason I wanna
crazy,
sit down and say
really
something was
frizzy.
because I don't
That
want
was
you guys
another
to
thing
think
that
that
I
we're
got
not
made fun
doing
of a
anything.
lot, especially
it's not
when I
that
was
we're just not
in
gonna
middle
go ahead and
school
not
because
test
I didn't know how to
anything.
take
It's-
care of my hair, and
I'm
I was just like
seriously
the
worried about
poodle, the
contamination
poofball,
because of the fact that we're
yeah.
located
So
in Cleveland and it's such a high populated area. Also, he did say we were surrounded by a fence. I am kind of worried that somebody's gonna break in. He
yeah,
did say it's
I
very
was really
unlikely. But,
so
He
that
also
is
said
a
he had cameras,
concern
but just be like,
yeah,
the fact is just
for
two of us, if you want them
investigators
as a
is
giant
people
team of literally
breaking
just
in while you
and
are
a camera
investigating
person.
because
and I don't
trespassing
want,
is a really
nobody
really big
sneaking
thing.
up on us.
I've talked
And
about
we
it
ain't
quite
fast.
often
No.
on my
No, we're
YouTube
not.
channel. Please don't
We're the
trespass,
opposite of fast.
guys. You can get
I will throw it
permission.
down.
You just have to figure out how you can get permission. Usually you can
Just
find a
put
way to
that
get
out
permission.
there.
But yeah, it's
It just,
especially if
seems
you
like
pay
we're
to be
not gonna
there
get a lot
and
of
you're
Yeah,
people
worried
I'm not
about somebody
evidence.
trespassing.
I'm not
Like
expecting
it's
a
really
whole lot out
sad,
of
especially
this
because I think this place was
investigation.
$300.
I was very optimistic
So it was
going
like,
into it. I think it's a very interesting concept.
I was
and a
just
very
really nervous
interesting
because we were just in the back of
location.
this like
It
building
goes
in
to
this
show,
random train car. Like
haunted
it was so
antiques
crazy.
or items,
Mhm.
how they can attach themselves to different things like that.
You're trying
like
to go
a
naturally
train car.
curly.
So,
Good luck with that. It's
I definitely
very
wanted
hard.
to show you guys the history behind that because this is definitely one of the more unique locations. You're not going to see this at a lot of different places, and I don't think a lot of people have done investigations here. So I definitely wanted to show that to you guys, but I am stating a disclaimer that there probably won't be that much evidence.
We're trying.
I'm trying. I just can't make promises. Also, I'm very tired
Yeah,
because I
and
stayed up last
the
night.
constant feeling of
Bad
like,
decision.
Bad decision.
oh, if
So,
I remember correctly,
shall
this
see.
was filmed the
Let's
day
try with
after the
your thoughts.
election.
I'm gonna go from there.
Random thought I just had. I don't know why.
That's why I was
It
up.
does what we're doing, but not really.
What?
They say there's 16 spirits that haunt this car, but
And straight on the
26
top
people
side.
died.
Oh, that's just weird.
So why only 16?
My hair is like super
You know what I
curly,
mean,
like
though?
everywhere.
What makes
obviously.
a spirit attached to a certain object per se instead of
Yeah.
That's awesome.
what
A lot
makes
of like
them wanna
moisture will
stay
definitely
in the
help
place
your hair
they
as
died
well.
like tragically and painfully.
I don't know because I think
What was I gonna say?
sometimes you have
Brad
hauntings
Mondo
that,
probably has some really good
like-
videos on how to take care of curly hair. I think I've seen a few of them. I just don't remember what he said.
are like intelligent
Yeah.
and intentional.
Yeah.
And I think this one is
Thank you.
probably going
I
to be
hate
more
it.
on the residual side.
Yeah.
It gets
so
stuck in stuff.
I definitely don't
A
think
lot.
they're here because they want to be here.
it's
I
just-
think
yeah.
that it was such a tragic thing that it definitely left its imprint, and it's still like
Yeah, I
happening
definally
in their time.
I
Like,
do
if you
kind
leave
of like
it alone.
stick to that. I
Interesting
definitely
that
do
only
feel like
Yeah.
this
26 are, like,
specific
stuck
haunting is
together.
And
residual.
my question is, how did they come up with the number 16?
That's what my question is too, because like when I was watching and doing my research for once in my life, they're like there's 16 spirits that haunt here.
Yeah.
And I was like, why 16?
Okay, where are we getting the number 16?
That's what I was like.
Yeah,
Like,
because
they
if they
did
said
not
16,
enforce it.
but there's
because
28
I'm
people
guessing-
who died.
I'm guessing it was a spirit box session, and they were
So
just like,
I'm not-
16.
I'm not
I'm
really
guessing that my guess, and I could always be wrong. I mean, the whole thing about the paranormal is that it's all theories. There's like, we're just out here trying to prove the best that we can that there's stuff out there. So there's a lot of speculation. But if it is a residual type of energy, I would imagine that it's all going to be there.
That's what
not
I was.
just
Not
one-
just, yeah.
That's
I don't
exactly
think
what
it's tied
I
to
was
a
just getting
specific
at.
Person, I
Mhm.
think it's just tied to the
The
event.
Yes.
And anybody that was present in that time will
But-
make its appearance
Yes.
and it will play out.
And like I said, that's my
That was
personal
my
opinion.
thought,
Like,
but,
I
when
could
they
be
said only
totally
a certain
wrong.
number, I was like, that makes
that
no
could be,
sense.
yeah,
so
that's
that,
very
you know.
confusing. Yeah. But I could.
Did I
Just
ever
about
figure
right.
out
I
16?
don't know
No,
why
I
I
did
thought
not.
that.
They
No, it's
said that
okay.
they had 16.
Definitely.
I think it was just because they got it on a spirit box once. I think that's literally all it
Alright,
was.
So I definitely don't feel sick anymore. I also want to document that I don't feel sick at all.
She was really bad.
I
Oh,
really
yeah,
thought
I
I
thought
was
it was gonna go
gagging.
like
out
literally, like
there.
I thought I was gonna be recording her puking. Like it was.
I was
bad.
like gagarina. Like I really thought I was
Dumb
gonna.
shit.
I told my boyfriend that I was gonna blow chunks, but I really thought that I was gonna throw up. Is that why we're not getting stuff? Is because we're only putting
Minimum effort.
I did say there was a couple cold spots.
Yeah, like that's like the main thing.
Now, I don't have like a thermal. Maybe we should do this one. But I don't have one, so I can't test that. So I don't like overly say that.
So I used to do this thing where I would talk over the spirit box and just like it never correlated well. It could have been 16 at the time. Spirits can come and go. Yeah, like I was saying, I think that it's residual. I do. So I'm not sure how residual works, but I would assume that they're tied to the event. So I would assume that everybody would be there, right? To some degree, but I don't know. I definitely heard train. This should be getting close to the end of the episode.
So my worry with the spirit box is that
Why does she zoom in on me?
we're too close to other radio stations because we're in Cleveland.
Sabrina does this
And they're
thing where
probably
she
so
will zoom
many
in on me
that we're
and
just
like catch my
testing
serious face,
all
and
of
then she'll
that.
start laughing, and I'll be like, "What are you
And
doing?"
I know that
But yeah, it happened quite a bit.
Turn
Like
off
at the
camera.
Madison Seminary one, she did that.
I will not go down. Is he even getting quiet? Oh, there it goes.
it is just a little bit. So
16
I know
passengers.
that everybody
There
says
could be
that if you
16
put it in
passengers.
reverse,
I think in
you're
the
not
beginning
gonna
he
get
said there
any
was 28
interference,
people
and I
in
will tell
total
you
who
that is
died
totally not true.
in the car. In the
Don't
car,
listen
right?
to that.
That
I
makes
don't
literal no
remember.
sense.
We
So, I'm not
always
sure.
have it in reverse.
I think he got 16
and it
from
doesn't
a
matter whether
group
you're
who
going
came in and
reverse
asked,
or you're going forward,
or
you're
maybe
still
a
gonna pick
psychic
up a
told him
radio
16.
station.
I'm not
Just like
exactly
when
sure.
you turn the
It could
dial.
really go either
Yeah,
way.
that's
There
like
could be
saying if you
16
turn it
and there
backwards, you're
could not
gonna
be
get a
16.
radio
So
station. You are.
All the
There
spirit
is a
box,
helicopter flying above
there
us.
literally is a helicopter now.
So
All the spirit boxes is flipping through the radio station, no
Yeah.
different than you do in your car.
yeah,
regardless of whether you're going forward or you're going back, you're gonna pick up station.
And there are no wires to cut to make the interference go out. That would just damage your spirit box.
So I know everybody says that going in reverse makes it so that way you can't pick up interference.
I heard
from
that so
radio
many times,
stations,
but I never.
and
I
that's just
always
plain
use
not
my
true.
spirit
I've been
box
on
in
enough
reverse, and I
investigations
almost
myself.
always
I
pick
use
up
a
stuff.
spirit box at almost
Yeah, it could
every
also be
location
an
that we
age
do,
too.
we
That's a
always
very
get
good point.
interference.
16
So
could be an
I'm
age. I do believe there was a wide range
debunking
of
that is
ages
a myth.
on
That is not true.
the train. I think he
So-
did say there was like even a little kid.
Amber's spilling that paranormal tea.
Fill in the tea. So, with that being said, like I said, we're in Cleveland. I'm really worried about that interference coming through. A lot of our locations are kind of on the outskirts. I feel like we're not really
Or in the
dead
middle of
center.
nowhere. Oh my gosh, like
But
we're
Ashmore
very
Estates
Like,
was
you could
literally like in the
see
middle of nowhere.
downtown
Yeah.
I
Cleveland.
drove through like an
So-
hour of cornfields. It was
I
so
am worried
crazy.
about that, but we shall keep
And
trying.
there was literally like a cornfield behind Ashmore Estates.
Do you want to come sit next to me?
You can just tell that I'm so tired. I don't know if you guys know how tiring it is, but it takes an emotional toll on your body when you're communicating with the spirits like this. yes, it's
We're really
very
not getting
exciting,
much.
but at the
And
same
whatever we're
time,
getting, like,
it's like they're
really is a
using
big
your
miss.
energy to talk to you,
So that kind of
and it just drains you so badly, and you just
solidifies.
so tired.
Is that a word?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so that just goes to show
There you are. Get that word counted.
that the first spirit box session that we did, where we had solid words coming through consistently for that little bit, was probably more than likely paranormal.
Yeah.
That's why we use spirit box more than once.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
why we
Paranormal
tested,
Hangover
because I want to see if there's a
sucks. I get it
consistency
all the
to
time.
the amount
I think I've only ever been on like
channels
2
that
or
are
3
coming
investigations
through,
where I
or words
didn't
that are
get it.
being repeated.
I'm pretty fortunate
And
because
as you
like
can
I don't
hear,
work.
there really
This is
isn't
what I
much coming
do
through at all, and if it is, it's just low
24/7 basically.
And that's most
So
likely a radio
yeah,
I
station
don't
talking
necessarily
through real
have
quick.
plans like the next
I
day.
did hear
Usually the
music,
plans
though.
the
I
next
did
day is
too.
to go over everything, so I can technically sleep in at least for a little bit until my kids go to school. But usually I
don't
can,
know.
it's
We've
not too bad
tried
for me.
all of our hits.
Yeah.
We tried EVP. We left equipment alone.
I just feel like it's so hard to lean one way. I can't, because if I get home and I can't hear jack squat for EVPs because there's so much, I'm going to be frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sometimes when you're in that
It's, like that's what I'm
when
really
you're in
worried
that
about. Like when you get
state,
home,
like
I
where
don't
you're
think you're
surrounded
gonna
and
be
you're
able to
worried
hear
about
your
contamination, there's
EVPs
only
unless
so much
A,
that you
it's
can do.
streaming, or B, right in
Thankfully,
your
there
phone.
wasn't too much.
And very rarely does that, happen.
There wasn't too much interference, so I was able to kind of
It's just so
listen
much
to the
sound
EVPs,
pollution,
and I
it's
could
hard
tell
to-
It's
the
hard to
difference
say.
from
Like,
what
I
was
don't
the
know
power
if my
plant
phone is
between
good
like what was
quality
the
to
other
like
stuff.
pick that up. It might not pick it up.
Yeah.
What is a
But, like, for
paranormal
me, it's
hangover?
very loud
A
and it's
paranormal
constant.
hangover
Like, I
is
can hear,
literally
I can
just
hear that.
that.
It's almost like they're doing construction.
It's
like if
Yeah,
you
it's
were
like
to-
they're
if you
grilling
go out
you
and you
or something. I don't know
investigate
what
all
it is, but,
night,
like, it's
and
constant,
then
constant
you
the
come
entire
home,
time we're
you
here.
sleep,
Right.
and when you wake up, you
And
literally
then we've
feel
been
like you
hearing
have a
semis
regular
off the
hangover.
highway,
Like,
there's an
like when
airport
you go out and
nearby,
you
so
drink
there's
and you have a
helicopters and
hangover,
stuff.
you
Planes, all
feel
that fun stuff.
sick, you kind of feel like low energy,
And, like,
really
you can't do
groggy.
NICS,
Sometimes you can
that
feel
SLS
dizzy.
because
It
terrorists
really
and
just
scares.
And
depends
we don't
how
want
it
to be like,
impacts
oh
each
yeah, it's
person
paranormal,
differently.
when it's just like,
When
For
we know,
me,
yeah,
I
when
just
they
I have
specifically said-
extremely low energy,
especially with, like,
and I
chairs
kind of
being
want to
closed
like
like
lay
this,
in
so,
bed
like,
all
if you
day.
pick
But
up
like
two
when I
chairs and
sit
put it in
up,
the
it's
figure,
too
like,
much
I
for
don't
me.
wanna
Sometimes
be
I get
putting
dizzy.
it on.
But
No.
more often than not, it's usually just a groggy, like
And I mean, I think
my
that
mind's
really
kind of
hurts the paranormal
foggy,
community
like that
because
kind of
you watch
stuff.
TV shows,
Yeah.
That's
and they
usually
use
what I
the
get.
SLS camera, but they don't tell you that.
Yeah, they don't give a
So,
disclaimer.
They're very like misleading,
Mhm.
Oh, me
and
calling
I
out
never
TV
knew that.
shows.
So I thought like this SLS was this great thing,
Yeah, like was like
and I was
tracking.
so yeah.
Oh my gosh,
and
I
was
could
like,
not
that's the
tell you
first
how
piece of
irritated
equipment
I
that
was.
wanted. And I sat and read the comments from the manufacturer and the comments from all the reviews of the people who were buying it, and they just downgraded the SLS.
It
so
takes you
much
7
for me
days
that
to
it was almost
recover.
not
Oh, because of your
worth paying the
abilities.
money
I
because
get
it was
that.
very expensive.
Yeah,
To
it
buy
only takes me
it.
like
And
a day
that's
to
why-
recover.
$500.
But
like, you're
I
not,
also like I
That's why I
practiced
held off for
mediumship,
so
but I
long
think I kind
buying
of like
it, or
pulled
that would've
out
been
of
the first
that
thing that I
because I
bought.
Oh
just
yeah,
didn't.
because like
It
yeah,
got
I
to
was
the
watching,
point
like,
where I
the
was
ghost
just being
hunting show, and I
bothered
was like,
so
oh my God,
often.
that'd
I
be
was
so
like, I
That'd be
don't
so
want
cool,
to
and
deal
I was
with
like,
And then,
how
So
you can't dispute that. Like that's
I-
so
and then like
pretty
you
much,
read
like,
it, and
put
you're
the
like,
flock
oh
up,
my
and I was
gosh,
like,
you
I'm
have to
not
take everything with this
dealing with that.
piece of equipment with a grain of salt.
yeah. And you read all of the reviews, and you read all the notes from the manufacturer, and it just blows my mind that they don't talk about that on TV shows.
Yes.
Like, I feel like
It really
they
makes
should.
me very disappointed that they're very misleading. Like that's the same thing with the Ovulus. I thought the
Oh my
Ovulus
gosh, me
was
too.
the greatest piece of paranormal
Oh, it's
equipment
definitely
that you could
draining.
ever get.
Yes.
And they stopped making the Ovulus because it's misleading. There is no connection that the words spitting out are coming from anywhere. They don't, like, they could not explain the science behind that. And if you can't explain the science, then I look at it like, if you can't explain it to me, then
Like
I
if
don't.
you make this, you can't
You
explain
can't, yeah.
it. Like, what are you doing? Like,
So it's
that's-
basically
trying
just
to block
supposed to
abilities
choose
takes a
random
lot of
words
energy,
based on
yeah.
the energy around it, but how is it doing that? How is it detecting energy? Like,
how is it detecting
how is it-
energy
yeah.
into words?
Like-
Like that makes no sense.
and it's really cool. I know that there's a lot of TV shows that have that, but I was reading a lot of articles that a lot of the TV shows will
Nice. That's a
Just-
way to deal with it.
edit it so that way it looks a little bit better.
Yeah, and like you can edit stuff so
Yeah.
easy. Like you could edit it so it's going into what's happening around you to make it like more understandable.
Yeah. But for me, like the fact that they stopped making it,
That's like a solid.
that's a
no-no.
solid like I will not rely on a piece of equipment that
Hi,
they don't even
Anonymous.
back.
Exactly.
That's why I don't have one, and that's why I will not be purchasing one.
Yeah, that makes me really sad because,
I
like,
mean, the only thing you can really, without like, can't disprove.
I want
on
to say I
EVPs,
learned a
is,
lot
like,
from TV
You
shows,
can't do that.
Like Spirit Box, you can say.
but then
You
kind
can
of
say
like
it's
when I
radio
started,
or, like,
radio,
because
and
when
then
I did my
anything
mediumship,
visual,
I
you can
didn't
say,
use
oh well,
It was a car
it's
driving
a
by.
shadow, or
I
it's a
used my body.
headlights, or
And
it's-
so
Well, like,
going
even
from
orbs
using
and
your body
stuff,
to
yeah.
using
Got some
equipment is
bugs.
one, a really hard
So,
thing
like,
to
you
do.
can't, like, the only
And two,
thing
on
you
top of
can't
it, like
discredit
everything
are
that I knew about
EVPs.
equipment
That's
was
why
what I
I
learned
think I
from
rely
TV
so heavily
shows.
on
And
EVPs,
come to
and
find
that's
out,
why I
these
enjoy
TV
them
shows
so
were
well,
withholding
is
information
because it's very
makes
clear that like
these-
us two are
this
the only people that
equipment,
are ever
like,
on investigations.
It's literally
not
just
I
so
do
two of us.
not
credible
go
as you
with
would have thought.
other people,
And it was very,
privately
very upsetting
when we
to
film
me.
for YouTube, because I don't want other people
That's awesome,
contaminating our
Derek.
videos. I know that some
I
people
don't want to say
don't
that
have the same
I'm a
experience
sensitive.
that
I
we
don't want.
do,
I don't want to like
and I
put a
don't want
label
them.
on it
Not
because
that they're
I
going
mean,
to ruin our
like, if you
video,
really-
but I don't
I
want
don't
them to have
I guess I'm just picky.
Any
I don't want to like say that I'm a sensitive or that I'm like
influence
an
in the
empath
way
or
that the
anything
night
like that
goes.
because like I
Exactly.
can't
and the more people
prove
that you invite
any
into
of
your
that.
group,
But
the
I
more susceptible
I do
you are
believe
to
that anybody can be
false
susceptible to being a sensitive or like a
labelings of
psychic or
paranormal,
anything
and that's
with
not
practice.
what we're about. So that's
I do believe
why
it's
I
achievable
only
for
have
anybody.
us two, is because it's a lot easier that way.
People think we're crazy when we show up to investigations.
Yeah.
Just two of us.
We get questioned a
Oh
lot.
yeah, and
Yes,
now I do
like,
it
where's the
solo.
rest of your-
So.
The two of you?
Where's the rest of
Always.
your team?
Always.
It's just us.
I do miss
But-
Sabrina because, like I was saying, like we do
I
have a
don't know.
lot of the same
I just
thought
feel like
process
it's
always the
as
two of
far
us,
as
so
debunking,
any EVP
and
that
I think
ever put out
when
there
you're
is
investigating with other
completely
people, it's so important to
unexplainable
have
to me,
somebody
and
who
that's why I
is
chose
kind of
you
in the
guys,
same thought
is because
process as
it's literally
you.
just us two.
You know,
especially when
I'm
you
not
get those
somebody
EVPs
who
that are
just
males,
points at everything and
Like,
goes,
it's
"That's
two
paranormal. That's
women in
paranormal."
this
Yeah.
car.
And
Like, there's
when
no
I'm
one else.
doing
We
an
never have
investigation
males
and
with
somebody
us.
is
We
doing
never
that,
have other people.
it can
And
be
if we
a
did have
little
other people, we would
frustrating for
document
me
that for
or a
you.
little
The only time
distracting for
there's
me. So to have
other
somebody
people
like
are for the
Sabrina
interviews.
who is
Yeah.
And for, like,
kind of on the
history.
same like
that's the only
mindset,
time there's
it's just
three
a
people.
blessing to have. I honestly miss her so much. So I'm
so tired.
really
A nice
excited to be
little
having
rant.
her
I know.
come on and
I'm
do
just
an
ranting
episode pretty
because,
soon.
like,
So you guys will see
I
that. She
feel
will
like
be
this
here
was
this
needed,
month.
if we're being honest.
People they get so excited and they're like, do this, do that, and it's like,
I must have
I
been really
view it
upset,
a
like I
little
was
bit
ranting.
differently, and that's why I don't.
Yeah.
So it's not because I'm not listening; it's because I'm trying to prevent certain things.
Oh,
Yeah, like, if there's a
definitely.
bunch of
Yeah,
people
I
here, your
always
evidence
listen
gets tampered
to
with,
all the
even if they
comments.
don't
I read
mean
every
to,
comment
like-
that I get. I
And
always
then,
try
like,
to
you got a
respond
bunch
to
of
every
people
comment
who
I
are
get. I read
yelling,
every
People
message I
talking,
get.
so you have to go through more
So,
voices.
like,
Yeah.
whenever you guys are
And then
giving
you
me
have
suggestions,
side
I do have, I don't
conversations,
have
you've
it in
got
here,
people walking.
but I
We
do
have
have a
that
notebook
issue.
where
Oh
I
my
write down all my
God.
We used to
suggestions
do a
as
lot
far
of
as what
public
you guys
events
want to
before we
see
started
or
doing
like,
private events,
you know, things
because
I can
wanted to make
improve
sure that
on
we
my
could
YouTube
actually
channel. I
drum up
always write that
activity
down. I
before
always
we
take that
spent
into
in-
consideration.
quite
It means so
frankly,
much to me
these
to hear even
investigations are
just the
very
constructive
expensive.
Yes, they
criticism
are.
to
And I
me.
didn't
Like, it's
want
such a
to
good
invest in the
thing.
money if we couldn't.
So keep that in mind.
get
Like, if you do
any
think that there
activity.
is something
So
that I
that's why we
can
were doing
change
public
or like you
investigations
would
to
like
get
to
some-
see in the future,
I would
message
think it was
me.
like the
Like,
knowledge. and,
write me, like,
knowledge of
comment
how
on
to do it
YouTube. I
correctly,
how to
always-
do it correctly.
I always read
and
all of
how
that.
to get
yield
what we
results.
wanted.
Yeah.
And the thing is, so we've been on a lot of public events with other people, and we used to let people join us. Like,
We
if we're
still
on a
do
public event, we
occasionally.
will still do that. But they'd just be like, "Oh, can we hang out?" And that's fine. And you do that with them, and then they were either talking, having a side conversation, or they got up and walked,
Mhm.
and they ruined your EVP. And it's not that they meant to; they just didn't know.
Yeah,
So
it's
for me
very
to just
different,
randomly start inviting people
when you're trying to film for YouTube and you're trying to
could
get results and
potentially
you have
hurt
somebody
our evidence, and that would
who is
contaminate our
around you
evidence,
who
and that's why
isn't
you
as
don't see me
experienced,
inviting
and it's
people.
I
no
also
shade to
think we're
them.
both
Like, that's
picky about
awesome that you're
evidence.
getting
very-
yourself
yeah,
into the
Like, we're
field, but at
very
the same
picky
time,
about
it's like,
things, like we will
I
disprove
can't-
before we credit. And
you
like
know,
not
it's-
a lot of people in the paranormal field will do that.
a lot of
around
people
us.
ask me
People are so
to
quick to
film,
just jump
like,
on
a lot
that
of people are like,
paranormal
hey,
thing.
can I
It's like
be,
the training
can I do an
we were hearing.
investigation with you? And I think it's so awesome. I want to want to be
But-
able to do
Like,
an
the train
investigation
whistles
with
we
you
hear, they
guys,
would've been like, oh,
and that is
wow,
going to
ghost
happen
train.
soon.
Ghost train.
But it's
Ghost
going to be
train.
on
We
public
are in
investigation, not one
Cleveland.
I'm
Like, there
filming.
are trains.
I
active
have
trains
been
here.
thinking
Well,
about
he even
doing
said
For the
that.
like
steel
a little
plant, they're dumping their steel in there.
So, and I don't
like I've been thinking about doing a Patreon, and I've been trying to come up with reward ideas. So if you guys have ideas for rewards, like let me know, because that would be awesome. But I've been thinking about reward ideas, and I think that like maybe I don't know how often I would be able to give this away, but like give away an investigation where one of you guys can come and film with me, like on site with me, and see like what happens behind the scenes and like see everything that happens. But it's gonna be a little hard to do because there are gonna be like rules that you have to follow, and also me being like a single, like lone female meeting up with some stranger is also a little bit like, you know, that can be scary. So there are kind of some things that I do have to work out there, but I do think I will be able to do that at some point. What episode do we want to watch now? I'm so excited. Wait. Oh, let's do, you know what? Let's do Hinsdale House. We'll do the part 2 to Hinsdale House. So I used to split my videos up into part 1 and part 2. Part 1 was always the tour. Part 2 was the investigation. But this is one of those ones that I did that. Where are you located? I'm in Nebraska. I am in Indiana. But I will be very honest, we do move. My boyfriend works for a company that requires every time he gets a promotion, he has to move. So we did live in Pennsylvania, but we had to move recently, and I would honestly not be surprised if he got promoted again very soon, and then we would have to move again, which kind of sucks. But the company that he works for actually pays for the whole move. They pay for the deposit. If we have to break the lease, they pay for that. They pay for the moving truck. They pay for the like security deposit. They pay for a lot of it, so they're very accommodating with that. It's just tough to kind of like adjust, especially because like I'm not a city girl, and we moved to Indianapolis, and this city's huge, and I'm just not used to it. Brian Mills, that would be cool. I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm thinking about adding a bunch of stuff to Patreon. I'm just not sure what all I want to add. I asked you guys on Instagram, but I didn't get too many responses as far as what I should add. But somebody also said that they would like to see maybe episodes appear on Patreon a couple days earlier than the scheduled episode. I don't know if that's something that you guys would like to pay for. I'm just not sure. If you do that, you need to have a friend with you that you trust or some manpower behind you. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. My only problem is, like I said, I move a lot. So I haven't really met too many people here. I did just meet a nice lady. She was in the Haunted Woods episode. And she will also be in, hold on, let me see. On October 27th, I will be doing a live stream where you guys can watch me investigate in real time. I haven't really figured out what time it's going to start. The investigation starts at 8, but that's like a really tight schedule for me to make. So we might have to push it back a little bit further. So look for more details on that. She will be in that specific episode or live stream. She will be there with me. She knows Randolph County very, very well. She's been there on several occasions, and she can start up activities. So I'm super excited to go with her. I want to see what happens. So,
Don't be afraid of it.
oh hi, Michael. You're from Chicago. That's not that far from me. I've never been to Chicago. I wanted to go for Lollapalooza because I love Megan Thee Stallion, but I did not end up going.
Do you like dinosaurs?
Yeah. It's better to be prepared for all of that. That's why I haven't really kind of figured out all the logistics as far as like what's going to happen.
Go ahead, talk to us.
But yeah, so some upcoming events, if you guys haven't heard yet, but I do have a really big episode coming this month. It's going to be my Halloween episode. It is going to be Waverly Hills. I'm super excited to do Waverly Hills, you guys. I finally got into Waverly Hills. I've been trying to get in, and they had some tickets on sale because they shut down their Halloween thing. So I'm so excited. I bought an investigation. So excited. And then that live stream event happening at Randolph County on October 27th. That's going to be awesome too. I do have some surprise episodes that I'm trying to plan, but I don't want to speak on that just in case. But yes, Waverly Hills. So exciting. Also, Somebody said that they would like to see mirror scrying. I'm very, very open to trying that. And I think I'm going to do that in the Randolph County live stream because they have a mirror scrying room. So I think we're going to try that. And then I was talking to Sarah, the lady who was at the Haunted Woods with me. And Sarah said that they have tried using balloons at Randolph County, like with helium and like the weight, and they'll set them in one area and then the balloon will end up like in another area. Is that something that you guys want to see us try? Because I'm willing to buy helium balloons and set them in random spots and see if they end up moving on their own. What do I think of full spectrum cameras? I have mine sitting next to me. So this is my full spectrum camera. It's a 4K Ultra HD full spectrum camera that I got from Ghost Stop. I do believe I paid $130, maybe $140. I don't remember exactly how much I paid.
Can you say my name and the device right there?
But to be honest, it's really weird. It's almost like I don't want to take it apart, but it's just like I don't know how they do it, to be honest. Like I know that full spectrum is supposed to let all different like color lights in and all that kind of stuff. I have picked up things on this device, and that's another instance where I actually lost footage, which kind of sucks. So in the Twin City Opera House episode, there is a portion where me and Sabrina are sitting in the auditorium and we're sitting in the chair and we're facing the stage. I had my full spectrum on me, and I was just doing a simple EVP asking questions. And I actually caught a light ball come over me, hop over my shoulder, and then duck underneath the camera. And I thought it was super cool. And I was in the process of editing that video when we had to film Madison Seminary. And I'm a dumbass. And what happened was when we did Madison Seminary, I had a freak out. And I was trying to use this, and for some reason, it was not working. It was not turning on. The SD card wasn't working. So I ran downstairs to my car to grab the SD card. And when I took the SD card that was in here out, I set it on top of my car. And we were panicking so bad to get back into film that I left it on top of my car. And I don't know what happened to it. I could have lost it on the road. I could have lost it in the driveway. I didn't even ask them to look for it because it honestly rained so badly that night that even if they found it, they probably never would have been able to save it. So I lost that video of that light anomaly. But I do like this. I do catch things on it every once in a while. I think for the price, it's not bad. My friend asked me yesterday to help him pick out a full spectrum camera. I don't know where he was looking. I think he was looking on ghosthunters.com, but they had a Sony one and they had a Canon. And it's just weird to me. Sony doesn't make full spectrum cameras, so I don't know how they made it full spectrum. I think it's just something that they screw on top of the lens, I think, is all that they do. I don't think they change any of the components on the inside. So I'm not sure about how I feel about it. But I do enjoy using them. Usually the CCD sensor sees a wide spectrum. The various cameras out there use a certain filter to block out UV or IR light. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, so I'm guessing that what's on this specific camera is probably just a filter. If you probably can't see it, but if you look at it, it actually looks like a purple like lens is on top of it.
There's like...
Oh, by the way, this was dead center of like December or January when I filmed this episode. And there were flies in this room just buzzing around. For one, it's freezing. I have my coat on. The lady, the tour guide, actually followed me around, which was nice of her. She was trying to help me out. And she was trying to get the heat on because there was no heat in this house. So they had these little like little heaters that she was trying to get to work, and she was making a lot of noise. But either way, it was so cold that she was trying to get the heaters to work because we were freezing. I had these heat packs in my pocket and they just weren't working. And there were these flies that were like buzzing around in that room, and I thought it was so crazy. I saw at least 4 of them. And I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, why are there flies? Oh, and by the way, we did not get any results from this specific Estes method, which is why you don't see us doing it. I kind of just showed a little bit of the footage of me doing it, but not really all of it. And I did try SLS in multiple areas of the house, and I didn't get anything, which was a little sad. And as you can see, those are the little IR lights. This is an IR camera, which is why we're picking that up. That one was 10 minutes. I don't think I realized that one was only 10 minutes. But I was talking for all 10 minutes. Isn't that crazy? So I think we have time for one more, right? Do we have time for one more? So I have probably about a half hour before my boyfriend gets home, and I would like to eat when he gets home because I'm starving. And also my headphones are actually hurting my ears. So I am going to find, let's do Fear in Fairfield County. So this is just the evidence portion of this episode. This was also filmed with Sabrina. Sabrina was not featured in the Hinsdale episode because, unfortunately, her mother would not let her travel to New York because this was during the pandemic. So she was using caution, especially because her family. So that was why she was not featured in that episode. And this is also one of the ones that I got hit with the copyright on the music. So I had to fix that. So if you guys actually seen Destination Fear actually filmed an episode here. They also did Randolph County Infirmary. They did Hillview. They did they do Ashmore Estates? I don't know. I've been to quite a few different places that they have done, I think. I don't know. I used to be a fan of the show, but I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the show anymore. I think just being an investigator and knowing how the TV shows kind of exaggerate a little bit, so I'm just kind of a little bit skeptical. Hey, Seth. But I think my biggest thing is that Chelsea always screams. If you guys watch Destination Fear, you know what I'm talking about. So I was like, oh no, please don't scream. Because I couldn't imagine being a spirit and like trying to talk to somebody and somebody like screaming and running away from me. I think that would be kind of sad. And we have the spirit box again. So Fairfield County was actually a poor farm. So basically poor farms were used. So like Hillview Manor was a poor farm. Ashmore Estates was a poor farm. Basically poor farms were where people, if you couldn't afford to like take care of a kid, or you couldn't afford to take care of your parents, or, you know, you couldn't, or if you were out on your own and you couldn't afford it, like you couldn't hold a job because you had a mental illness, or maybe you were an orphan, the poor farm is generally where you would end up. Poor farms took care of people usually on government money, and they would serve them meals, and usually they wouldn't charge them rent. So you would work, or you would stay at the poor farm, and typically, sometimes you would have to work, but not all the time. But yeah, it was a place for people to go and have somewhere where they could be taken care of and not roam the streets, basically. Oh, Michael, LOL, yeah. They always ran away. Somewhat annoying. Yeah, I felt like it was somewhat annoying for me too. Especially because I had actually reached out and talked to Chelsea on Instagram, and we exchanged messages. And I was telling her about how, you know, like, I'm really proud of her for being a female in the industry, because there's not very many female investigators who are on TV. And I was like, you know, there are a lot of somewhat a decent amount of female investigators in the field, but not a lot on TV. So you're kind of representing us. And, you know, it would be awesome. I didn't tell her, like, to not scream, but I told her, I was like, you're going to learn how to be able to not be so scared as you go. And I thought, this was before I knew that they had done a documentary. And she was like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely learning how to be, like, less scared and all that. And I was rooting for her. And then the more seasons, like, came, the more it didn't really change for me. Like, I didn't see that change. But I guess, when I compare myself to other people, I think I just expect them to be a certain way, and that's kind of not fair for me. But I just felt like she was representing females, and it was kind of sad to me to see a female who wasn't strong in the sense mentally where they could face their fears and not be scared and run away. I think that was the disappointing part for me. But not to say that she's not awesome or anything like that. I'm not calling out her character or anything like that. I just like to see strong females in the field. I think that's why Katrina Weidman is such a big inspiration for me. And maybe it's not fair. Maybe I'm comparing other females in the field to Katrina Weidman, and that's not fair. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying before that, before I started ranting. But yeah, pork farms. So there were males and females, and they separated the males from the females. Somewhat kind of like what you've seen at Randolph County was the same kind of thing that was going on.
Do you know why? And Amber, what's your name?
But I did think it was interesting because she did say that there was a lot of people with mental illnesses, and we actually got a lot of animal noises during the spirit box session. Like, I heard, like,
How long were you here?
cats and, like, pigs and, like, barking. I thought that was really, really cool. The only place that I have ever heard, yeah, a dog bark. So the only place that I have ever heard noises like that was Trans-Allegheny. And when we did Trans-Allegheny, this was another time where I just wasn't that great at filming. And what happened was I wasn't prepared. And they started us on the 4th floor. I wasn't prepared to film. I had said, hey, Sabrina, let's go. And basically film the 4th floor, because that's where we were. And I said, let's go all the way down to this hall where they hear animal noises. So, and I start rummaging through my bag, getting ready to film. And I'm like trying to find my camera batteries and put everything together. And all of a sudden we hear like a pig squeal, and we heard like a cat meow. And I missed all of that because I suck. And let me tell you, lesson learned, I always have my stuff ready before I walk in the door. Because I don't like missing stuff like that. But yeah, I've always liked Katrina. Don't think that I've ever seen her scared somewhat hardcore. Exactly. I think that's why I look up to her so much, is because I feel like she's just so strong, both very, very much so mentally, where she can kind of block that out. And like I said earlier, she was very self-aware. And I think you guys know I love Katrina Weidman by now.
Is there animal noises coming through the spirit box?
But yeah, she is definitely who I look up to as far as if I were to be like anybody, I would hope that I would be strong like Katrina Weidman mentally. But yeah, I lost that footage from Trans-Allegheny, and I kick myself in the ass all the time for it. Because it was very clear. Me and Sabrina both heard it. It was like a pig squeal and a cat meow, and we were so disappointed that we were not filming because I didn't have my shit together.
You can pick any animal you want.
Meow. I was actually really tired on this investigation. Sometimes I don't properly, I don't like taking naps. I also have kids, so it's really hard to take naps. So sometimes I won't get enough sleep the night before, like as I need to. And this was probably one of those times. And sometimes you're just so tired. And that was this one. I do believe the drive was 4 hours long. And it was such a long drive. I was so tired, and I had a 4-hour drive back home, and this is what happens. I think Sabrina even said that she thought I fell asleep at one point, probably somewhere in this hallway. I got super tired and almost had no energy. Oh yeah, that would make sense too. But yeah, they had this funeral room where they would put on these funerals, and I thought that room was super cool. Sabrina and I actually sat in that room, and we were kind of taking a small break, just kind of like separate ourselves. And we were taking a small break, and we actually heard a chair being dragged across the floor. And of course, we went up to investigate, but we couldn't find what chair it was. I mean, it's not like I'm going to remember the exact space of where a chair was. I did have a camera going in one of the rooms, but unfortunately, I do believe that it happened across the hall from where my camera was. So. This was also cold. I'm not really looking forward to the January investigations this year, where it's just going to be so freezing. Some places stay open throughout the winter, and then some places don't stay open. So it just depends. Nope. I thought this was really crazy.
Do you know my name?
Because I do believe I had asked a question about if somebody knew that they were dead, and they said that they knew, which is the first time that I've ever had like confirmation that somebody like knew that they had crossed over.
You still not want to tell me your name?
And also, it's very hard to hear in the moment what's being said.
We're just trying to show the world that you're still here. Is that something?
Oh, okay. He said, I'm dead. Yeah, that was one of the first times that I've ever had. Like, sometimes you'll ask, and they'll be like, yes or no. But it's not really, like, confirmation to me. But for me to say, like, I'm just trying to prove to people that you're still here, and they say, I'm dead, like, that to me shows that they're very self-aware of what's going on, and that they know that they're not alive, obviously. So I thought that was super, super cool.
We'll get some EVPs that I could throw in, like sprinkle in. Sprinkle.
Oh, I'm looking for the light. Yeah.
Sprinkle in the EVP.
I think I've gotten that a couple times, not too much. Hey, Three Souls Paranormal, what up?
I don't like the one that was like the dog growl, I think it was. It was sort of weird.
I don't know. I could have swore I heard like a cat at one point.
Yeah, it sucks because my audio wasn't that great at the time, so you actually barely hear this object move, but I'm pretty sure it was a chair being drugged.
Was that above us?
It sounded it was like right up there. Which
Our camera's not in that room. Our camera's in the room across.
of course it is.
Rats.
Why would it be in that room?
We got it on this camera. Probably that camera and that camera. Maybe someone's trying to scoot in closer to hear our story times for the day.
I don't know.
That'd be fun.
That's nice.
Power on. Now.
Oh yeah, my stupid Bluetooth speaker always made that noise. I actually no longer have this spirit box or Bluetooth speaker. I actually gave it away on my Instagram a couple months ago, and it went to some nice guy named Jeff. So I hope that he's using it and that he's making great use of it. I do have a new spirit box that I bought though for my portable device.
You don't have to be scared, right?
Oh, I think my hair is crazy in this one too. I think it's curly in this one. It's just like in a ponytail. Like I thought somehow that was going to look cute, but it doesn't look cute.
And if you could tell us some information, that would help the people that work here.
Yeah, so we had done the investigation right after. So the owner of Madison Seminary is Adam Kimmel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who he is, but he owns Madison Seminary. He's also part of what is it called? Something dead. I don't remember what it's called, but he has a YouTube channel, so he has his own group. I don't know why I can't remember it at this current moment. Anyway, basically, Adam Kimmel owns Madison Seminary, and he actually just bought Fairfield County Infirmary at the time of this being filmed. So they were doing their research and stuff like that, but there's only so much that you can find in a certain amount of time. And I think they had only owned it for they had started letting people in about a month prior to us going in. So they didn't really have too much information, hence why the tour, I don't think, was very long. They did talk about a top hat man, which I talked about my attachment earlier, but my attachment involved a top hat man. So to me, that was more so personal. So that kind of like really sketched me out. That was not something that I wanted to deal with. I used the SLS camera. This was really cool. So this looked like somebody sitting on the floor.
Yeah, right on the floor over here.
And Sabrina's box light that is actually on top of her camera actually died right after that, which I thought was really weird. And Sabrina said she thought she heard footsteps running down this hall right here.
Yeah, when we walked over here, it was squeaking really bad.
It wasn't like back from us. It was down there.
Huh.
By the steps.
Well, when I had walked in, there was a small
Intrinsic
figure,
Paranormal.
like,
I'm so
right on
sorry
the
that you've
floor.
been stalked by him since you were a kid. That is creepy.
I don't know. Did the box light die?
I want to say that my attachment had to do with the Top Hat Man, but at the same time, I did see a psychic who told me that it wasn't the Top Hat Man and that it was just a really negative entity or like a negative spirit that had lived there previously. But yeah, I don't know. I've heard multiple stories about the Top Hat Man, so I definitely would not want to deal with that for any extended period of amount of time. I would imagine that he has the creepiest face ever. See, for me,
I
my
think so. Yep, it's a doll in the chair.
spirit that I was dealing with was just an outline, so I could never see details. It was just a guy who happened to have a hat on. But it was always just the outline. You could tell that it was a man, but there was never details. Like if he was wearing a suit, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like you'd never be able to see like buttons, or you could never see any details on his face. It was always just the outline.
Will pick up chairs. Now, however, when we first did walk in, we did get that figure right here. And as you can see, there's nothing over there.
I thought this was really cool. So this is the one of those times when I actually thought I caught something credible on the SLS. Especially because there was actually nothing in this area. And like I was showing you guys just a second ago, the SLS does register chairs sometimes as spirits. So I was showing you that. But as far as there being nothing in the corner and something sit, and then it almost looked like you can see the arms kind of like move to kind of like just get up and like walk away because it didn't want to be detected, which I thought was really cool. So it's kind of almost like we caught it off guard and then it kind of just like disappeared.
I was too focused on the figure to like turn around and like look at anything.
Yeah, those are a lot of details. So yeah, for me, I didn't have a lot of details. I'm sorry that you have to do that. Yeah, I actually walked around with the SLS camera for quite a bit of time and I didn't get anything. This is actually the little morgue area where they would prep the bodies. And there was a little freezer thing for holdover, basically. All right. That's so exciting. That is the end of the episode, and it's 5:52, so I am going to go, unless if you guys have any questions. Do you have any questions for me? Such sorrow in that room. Yeah, it was. Like I said, that was a little, like, morgue area. So it was, like, just... You could tell that it was really heavy in that room. I'm actually really surprised that we didn't get anything paranormal-wise. Like, we didn't get any responses or anything. I hope you enjoy your meal. I will enjoy my meal. I have no clue what I'm making. I think I'm going to make meatballs with spaghetti because I actually bought burger the other day that I used for goulash. I don't know if you guys like goulash or not. I do. I like goulash with sugar, though. Like, I have to put sugar in it. But anyway, so I took half of it, so now I have to use the other half for the meatballs. But, yeah, you are so welcome, Brian Mills. Feel free to check out any of my videos. I do have them sectioned off into playlists, so I have all the investigations into one, and then I have kind of all the extra ones that I did. There were ones like, oh, yep, to the goulash, yeah. There were ones like like I tested a Ouija board ones. There are like I bought a haunted doll ones next week. So this coming Monday, I don't know what date that falls on, but this coming Monday is actually going to be me trying a seance. Now, I want you guys to know that I'm not testing it to see if anything paranormal happens, or I'm not testing it to see if they're legit or not legit. This is more so just like for a celebration for Halloween and autumn, and I just wanted to experience it, you know. It's not so much that I'm trying to get something to happen or like say that it's not paranormal or that this or that. Like I don't throw my opinion in this episode. That is my next to do, a haunted doll. Yeah, those are really cool. My friend Sabrina has a really haunted doll. I don't know why she took down that video. I am going to message her and ask her because she had some activity with that doll. I don't know why she took it down. Have you heard of an area that's an orb hotspot? I've been toying with an idea of how to test. You did tell me that you wanted to test. An orb hotspot? I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I think any haunted place is good because haunted places are like dusty, and if you're testing the theory of dust being orbs, you could do that. Madison Seminary, I got a lot of orb type anomalies like in my pictures. So you could always try that. What other place did I get? I think Trans-Allegheny, I also got a lot of little orb type pictures. Look for places that have kind of the bigger like hallways, like the longer hallways. You'll typically get a lot of stuff in longer hallways because there's not something like if you're taking a picture in a room. I know this is really weird to explain, but if you're taking a picture in a room where you can see all four walls in the picture, you're less likely to get an orb. Whereas if you're in a long dark hallway and there's like dark stuff, it's going to be more focused on whatever's in front of the camera, if you know what I mean. Like if it's trying to capture dust, it's going to do it more so if you have like a dark background. So I get a lot of orb type things when I have a camera pointing towards a long dark hallway. So that would be my best advice. But that's more so coming on the side of I do think that orbs are dust. But I'd never tell somebody that they were wrong, but that's just my personal opinion because I've been to so many places and it happens all the time. It happens at like almost every location, and I get it at my home. I get it in places that I know aren't haunted. So I think that's why I more suspect them to be dust. But yeah, you could totally replicate that if you wanted to do a test. I kind of wanted to test it, but I felt like it was really controversial because there are a lot of people who do believe in orbs being like spirits, and I really don't want to upset anybody. But at the same time, I also do kind of want to just put that out there. It takes a lot for me to debunk an orb as paranormal. Yeah, I think I watched an interview with Katrina Weidman, and she even said that she does not believe in orbs. And there was, I guess there was somebody who was trying to show her like an orb picture or something, and she was like, "Listen, I really don't feel like orbs are spirits; they're just dust." Like, and for her to say that because I don't want to say she's a professional because there's not professional. Well, I mean, maybe she's classified as a professional because technically she makes money. But I don't think that there's one person in the field that knows more than anybody else. But for her to say that, especially for me, because that's somebody who I look up to, I'm also like in agreement with that. So, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, you're welcome, Michael. If you have any other questions, you can ask right now if you want, and I'll answer them. But if you have other questions and I'm not on here, you can always message me on Instagram. I try to check my Instagram quickly. It doesn't always happen because I do have other things that I do other than Instagram. But yeah, I try to be very responsive to everybody. So if you guys have questions, or even if you, like I said earlier, if you guys have suggestions, just send them over on Instagram and I will be able to get them for you. Do you guys have any questions at this current moment before I get gone and start my food? Not the goulash, though. Just spaghetti with meatballs. Screw the goulash, right? My boyfriend doesn't like goulash either. I told him, I was like, he's like, what are we having for dinner? I was like, oh, we're having goulash. He's like, that's disgusting. He doesn't like. I'm glad I caught your live. It's been so fun. Thank you, Intrinsic Paranormal. That's very nice of you. I try to do lives once a week. I didn't do it last week, and I do apologize. I'm so sorry. I just didn't. Sometimes, it's just too much. Like, it just requires a lot of your time. It requires a lot of energy. To constantly like be talking and to constantly like have something to talk about. Not that that's hard to do, but I just didn't feel in the mental state that I needed to be in last week, so that's why I didn't do it. But usually I do it on Thursdays. I switch up the time every once in a while just so that way other people can catch it, because not everybody is on or like at home at the same time on Thursdays. So I try to switch up the time, but just check out my Instagram. I'll usually post if I'm going to be doing a live or not. It takes a lot of energy. Yeah, it does. Brian Mills, I hope you have a nice night. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you do watch some of my other content. I have so much more to offer than just blabbing on a live. I hope anyway. But yeah. And also I'm taking submissions for Patreon ideas. Like I said, I am going to be doing that really soon. So, and I am going to be doing a tour where you guys can come and investigate with me. I'll be traveling around. I'll try to travel as much as I can, but I'm going to be basically like hosting, and then you guys will come on a public event night where you guys can actually meet me. And I'm hoping to be like selling merch and things like that. And you'll get a tour of the building, and then they'll set you loose with me, and then you'll be able to investigate with me, and I'll bring some of my gadgets, and then you guys can, like, if you wanted to take pictures with me or whatever, you could. But yeah, you could totally come and meet me, which would be awesome. You plan on watching the videos? Thank you so much. Well, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. But other than that, I'm super tired, and these headphones hurt. But I shall see you guys again soon. And then don't forget on Monday to check out the seance video, because I did actually have some interesting things happen, which was really cool. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with me for 2 hours. That's really awesome. Thank you. Thank you again so much. I love how I get nothing but positivity out of this channel. I really feel it from you guys. And it's so special to me that you guys are so supportive of everything that I do. But thank you so much. And everybody be safe. And I hope you guys have a nice night. And I will see you guys on Monday. All right. Bye.